Hello, I'm Dr. Guy Yatros from Dental Sleep Solutions, and welcome to this edition of Dental Sleep Medicine Insider Magazine. Today I'd like to talk about Medicare. But before you hit the stop button and move on to something else, please hear me out. A lot of dentists and dental offices, when they hear Medicare, want to say, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that process. But I promise you, if you're treating dental sleep in your practice, Medicare is worthwhile. It helps patients decrease the cost of treatment, gets more patients breathing better, breathing longer, sleeping better at night, and it can also increase your bottom line. There's just a few things you need to know about Medicare. First of all, it's not Medicaid. That's probably the biggest misconception that I see when we talk about Medicare. Medicaid is state-run welfare and has nothing to do with Medicare. Medicare is available to all people 65 and over and who are retired who worked in this country. Part of your check every month and your employee's checks goes towards Medicare. So we in fact do have health insurance in the U.S., but it's only for the retired and disabled people. When you reach this age, Medicare covers many of the medical benefits, including dental sleep devices. They're covered under durable medical equipment, or DME. Each region has different allowable amounts that I'll go into in just a little while. Medicare will cover 80% of this allowable amount, and the patients will cover the other 20%, or the patient's supplemental insurances, which most patients have, will cover that 20%. Again, I'll hit those amounts in just a few minutes. So let's talk about your options with Medicare if you're providing dental sleep devices for apneic patients in your practice. You have to do something. Just doing nothing is really not acceptable. The moment that you make a dental device for an apneic patient in your practice and they have Medicare as their insurance coverage, then you're supposed to have made one of three choices. So let's go through these. The first one is just to opt out. You can just say, I want nothing to do with Medicare. I'm not going to deal with it. But you can't just throw up your hands and say, I opt out. You have to formally opt out through Medicare's website. The process takes some time, and once you opt out, you can't opt back in for 2 years. So think about this before you do it. Also, if you opt out, it doesn't mean you have to do nothing. When patients come in, you have to fill out some paperwork called an advance beneficiary notice that lets the patients know by coming to your office they cannot receive any Medicare benefits for treatment of dental sleep in your practice. So that's one option. It's not the option that we recommend. We recommend that you become a Medicare provider. There's two types of Medicare providers. The first one is not what we recommend, but I'll go through it with you first. That's becoming a Medicare provider. And in this situation, you're going to accept what Medicare allows in your region. So in other words, whatever the allowable amounts and the restrictions and rules for billing Medicare for the E0486, which is the dental device, you have to abide by, and you have to accept the allowable amount. Now the good news is the checks come to you, so you accept assignment of benefits, the checks come to you, and if the patient has supplemental insurance, those checks come to you as well. But if that amount that they allow is not enough for you to be happy to do this in your practice, you're restricted to sticking with that amount. So that's why we don't recommend that you become a Medicare provider. What we recommend is the third option, that you become what's called a non-participating Medicare provider. And this is different for durable medical equipment, DME. Again, that's the division we fall under when we make these devices in our offices. Then it would be if you were Part B. And the nice thing about this, as far as being a non-participating DME Medicare provider, you can not accept assignment of benefits. So when you fill out the claim form, or if you use DS3 in the patient info section, you don't check accept assignment of benefits. And once you become a non-participating Medicare provider, then all the checks go to the patient and you can bill your normal regular fee. So in other words, if the fee amount was not enough to make you happy, you collect your fee from the patient. You don't accept assignment of benefits, which means the money's not going to come to me. The checks are going to go to the patient, both their Medicare and if they have supplemental checks. But again, you can bill your full normal billable amount to make you happy to do this. So why not tap into that money that those patients are going to get reimbursed to them? So it's just money you're leaving on the table if you don't become a non-participating Medicare provider. Again, as a non-participating Medicare provider, you have another option. If a patient comes in and for some reason you want to provide this service and they can't afford any out-of-pocket, then as a non-participating Medicare provider, you can accept assignment of benefits on a case-by-case basis. So a patient comes in and they don't have money and you want to help them out, or you're trying to make a referral source happy for whatever reason. As a non-participating provider, you, in a sense, can become a participating provider by accepting assignment of benefits. So it's like being the regular Medicare participating provider, as we went through with option 2, for just that patient. Now, the Medicare check will come to you, and if they have a supplemental check, it'll come to you, but you cannot bill above your the Medicare allowable amount in that region. So we do this when we're trying to help patients out, when we're trying to work with referral sources, and for various reasons. So again, to recap, as a non-participating Medicare provider, which is our recommendation, you can not accept assignment of benefits and the checks go to the patient and you can bill your normal amount, or you can accept assignment of benefits for each individual case on a case-by-case basis, but you have to accept the allowable amount. So where are these allowable amounts? So here's the allowable amount for Region A. And as you can look, as we go through these, each of them has the 80% that the Medicare allows, and then the 20% that you see here, this is what the patient's responsibility is, or oftentimes the supplemental insurances will cover. You can see Region B rather, and we're going to go through these fairly quickly. Region C, and here's Region D. So there's 4 what we call LCDs in Medicare, and you can look at the regions that you are in. If you have questions about this, by all means, don't hesitate to contact us at Dental Sleep Solutions and DS3. Our billing department does billing for hundreds and hundreds of dental offices across the country, and we can help you with questions. But here's a website where you can get going. If you want to do this yourself, well, here's how you get going. If you want our help with this, this is what we do. We do pushing hundreds of these Medicare applications a year. We'll make the process a lot more seamless and get you through the process a lot easier. So don't hesitate to contact us at Dental Sleep Solutions. Here's our contact information. And again, I hope this was beneficial for you, and I hope you will consider becoming a non-participating Medicare provider in your offices. And thanks for reading and watching this edition of Dental Sleep Medicine Insider. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.